Hey, thanks for tuning in. So this week we're talking about the buying process. I know in past videos we've talked about how to buy, how to get a loan and what your agent should be doing for you and how to win, in terms beyond price. And so this week I really want to kind of boil it down and connect with the reason people buy and the process that it takes to really get to, renter to homeowner, right? Because there's a lot of steps in between and, there's a lot to think about, especially when we're talking about the process and about learning something new, right? Because I've helped buyers in the past that have, really stuck to a price and that price didn't really meet their expectations. And unfortunately, it's an uphill battle and it's often a losing battle because what they want doesn't match their budget. And so in between, between locations, amenities, and price, right, your expectation has to float somewhere between that. If what you're asking for is more than you can afford, it's okay. We can take a step back out of the market, save more money, and then, get up to the point that you're looking for. Or if your life situation has brought you to a place where you need to do something more immediate, then obviously your price will have to, your expectation has to come down a little bit to make sure that it's an equal balance. Because the worst thing that you want to do is buy a house that you are uncomfortable with. And when I say you're uncomfortable, I mean uncomfortable with the monthly payments, right? Because the price of the house is important, yes, but you live in the mortgage, right? The mortgage is what impacts what you eat. If you're able to, go to your favorite restaurant still, or if you're able to still go on that vacation. Because if you're spending all of your, monthly salary on your mortgage, then your quality of life is going to go down. And I don't want to do that to you. That's what happened in 2008. People were buying homes that they couldn't afford and they were, they're ruining their lives. And so now in 2020, despite all that's happened, that's the last thing I want. So I'm here for you, right? I want to make sure that you're buying the right house that fits your lifestyle and your budget, right? Because those two need to come together. And if they don't, we got to re-strategize on what's best. So what I've done is I've broken down the buying process into 5 steps. Step number 1. What's important to you about buying a house? More so than just, numbers of bathrooms and bedrooms and square footage. We're talking about, why do you want to buy a house? Are you doing it for the right reasons? And are the people that are buying with you, if you're, if you're choosing to live with a, family member or a loved one, are they on board, right? Are your goals aligned at that right time? Because if they're not, it's going to derail the process later down the line, and that's not something we want. Step number 2. Find a lender that works for you, right? Find a lender that really represents your interest and is there to help you through. Because the financing is probably the most important part of this whole purchasing process, more so than finding the right house, right? Because the financing will dictate your comfort, and your comfort dictates your lifestyle, right? So a house should be a benefit to your life. It shouldn't take away from it. And so when we're talking about buying a house and you finding the right lender, right, you want peace of mind. And it's really important that the lender is there for you more than just the hours between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Because obviously questions and concerns happen beyond those, that small window. So you want to make sure a lender is able to go above and beyond for you. Step number 3, finding out what you like and don't like about a house. Finding out what you like is important, but also finding out what you don't like is important as well. Because during this process, you're going to find that things don't really make sense to you once you're actually in the house. Some people want big garages, but they only have one car. And so, for example, homes with 2-car garages sell for more money. And if they only have expectations of having one car their entire lives and really just using it for parking a car, then you don't need 2 spaces. So you can save money that way. Step number 4, finding a realtor that works for you. And it has to be a good fit, right? Because it's often not a sprint, it's often a marathon. And so you and your realtor are going to be working together on a lot of things. I once had a client that told me, Zach, I talk to you more than I speak to my girlfriend. And it's true. During this time, we're texting and calling back and forth, trying to find the best strategy in the right home and at the right price. And often these conversations go well into the evening. And I'm okay with that, right? It's part of the process, and I'm here for you to support you, reaching your goals and your dreams. So keep in mind, your average buyer is in the market for 3 to 6 months. And during this time, you're going to be talking to your realtor a lot. And you want to make sure that they're protecting you in terms of the legal part. They're representing you in terms of the negotiation part. And they're there for you during the whirlwind of real estate that it sometimes can be. Step number 5, the escrow process. The escrow process is managed by an escrow or title company. They make sure that the buyer and seller are acting fairly. And today, 2020, typically the escrow process takes 30 days. During this time, the bank will finalize your mortgage. They will make sure that your finances are in order and that they will prepare the documents for the purchase of your new home. So it's not that hard. It just can be a little bit of a process when you're talking about buying a home. So don't worry, feel free to ask questions. For my buyers, I have an exclusive buyer's guide that walks them through these 5 steps and helps prepare them for the buying market, because in the Bay Area, it's very competitive and you want to make sure that you have the right agent and the right team behind you to make sure that this process goes as smooth as possible. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks.